time is the right time in uptown Charlotte as evening dawns on the 2026 version of the Granddaddy, the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament. Two interesting games earlier this afternoon as Virginia advanced with a win over North Carolina State, and then Miami held off Louisville in a thrilling. Now the ninth session. Duke and Carolina are in the ninth session, and that means high prices, high stakes, and high atmosphere. First, it's the Dukies, 29-2, heading for a number one seed of the tournament, looking for yet another ACC championship against the team that has caught fire in the last 3 weeks of the season, the Seminoles of Florida State. Florida State, the number 8 seed, opened their tournament account last night with a 6-point win over California. That truthfully wasn't that close. Duke, the number 1 seed. The winners will play either North Carolina or Clemson, who will meet in the second quarterfinal later this evening. Or the second night game, fourth quarterfinal. And good evening, everybody. I'm Seth Eaves. Thank you so much for being with us. We even saved you the best seat in the house. An honor to keep the seat warm for Mr. Owens in prime time of the ACC. Well, Duke's the number 1 seed and the favorite for many in this tournament, but they are a team that does have some question marks. No Caleb Foster, no Pat Gungba, a couple other injuries as well. Duke, in a way, is essentially at a 7-man rotation. But boy, one of the 7 they do have is as good as any in the United States. Cameron Boozer, the ACC Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year, and who knows, he may be on his way to National Player of the Year honors. He leads this Duke team, but again, 2 big losses. Foster with a fractured foot, and Gungba out with foot soreness. Florida State, a team that was in transition to start the season with a new head coach in Luke Lautz, who took over who was the successor for the great Leonard Hamilton. And it was a struggle early in the year, but it is a Seminole team that found itself in the back half of the season. And, well, they may not be the best team, and they may not be in the NCAA tournament unless they win this ACC tournament. But they are ending the season very, very strong, and if anything else, are laying a possible foundation for next season. But they're not thinking about next season. They want to upset here tonight. Robert McRae V, 30 points, and before they found their good form, back when they were struggling a bit, you might remember back in January, when this Knoll team was still finding itself, they gave a very good accounting of themselves in a game against Duke in Tallahassee. Duke did win, but FSU did put on a respectable showing against the mighty Blue Devils. Florida State in red and Duke in white. Here is the tip, and it is Florida State who has it. It's the Noles going from left to right as you listen in their red uniforms. On the right block, trying to knife inside. A little hook shot left short by Chauncey Wiggins. And Duke grabs the rebound. Blue Devils now have it on the run. Caden Boozer gets the start tonight. Isaiah Evans, Dame Sarr, Malik Brown, the rest of the starting lineup, of course, with the 2 Boozers. Sarr at the top of the key. Now he'll flip it over to the right side and give it up to Evans. Evans on the right wing. Evans now trying to work with it. Kicks it back out to Caden Boozer. Here's Boozer. His jump shot is good. Caden Boozer with the first points of the night and the first points of this tournament for Duke University. 2-0 lead for the Blue Devils, 55 seconds in. Here's Jones. This is a Florida State team that will shoot up a bunch of threes. They've attempted over 1,000. Entering the night, they've attempted 1,996 shots on the year. 1,009 of them 3 balls. Evans blows by. Evans with a good blow by and a good finish. And Duke has raced out to a 4-0 lead. McRae, Jones, Miles, Steen, Wiggins, your starting 5 for FSU. Here is Wiggins. Now he'll give it over to Steen. Wiggins straightaway three. That one's good. Chauncey Wiggins, a 38% three-point shooter, and he gets FSU on the board. He had 14 in the win against Cal last night. Now Duke works with it. Evans, right corner three. That one's good. Evans feeling an early rhythm. And the Duke lead at 4. Evans had 28 points in that January 3rd win in Tallahassee. Shot from FSU Evans, and that one is no good. Here's the rebound. Duke, Isaiah Evans going inside. And Cameron Boozer lays it in. And great start for the Blue Devils. They now lead it 9-3. Boozer coming off a 26-point, 15-rebound performance in Duke's win against North Carolina to end the regular season. Lajay Jones to Robert McCray the fifth. McCray, that one a little too strong. And rebound tapped around to Malik Brown. Brown. Now it's Caden Boozer. Boozer on the move. Good wraparound. Sarr three. That one is not even close. The rebound is gathered in by Florida State. And then a whistle here, and then a foul. Duke won 91-87 in that game. A high-scoring affair against FSU. Duke with just the 2 losses on the year. 5 days before Christmas, they lost by 1 to Texas Tech. They lost by 3 to North Carolina. They're 4 points away from possibly being 31-0 coming into this thing, which tells you about how good of a team they've been this year. They've had some big wins. They beat Michigan State. They beat Arkansas. They beat Florida. They beat Michigan. They are legit. McCray taps in. Missed the layup, but the follow-up goes. He followed his own miss. Good play there by McCray, and it's a 9-5 game. Gives it over to Dame Sarr. Sarr on the left wing, looking, lob over now to Cam Boozer. Boozer left block, Cam Boozer left block, 12 to shoot. Long pass, gets it over to Brown, and Brown couldn't handle it, a turnover. So the Noles defense forces a turnover and is on the run. McCray a three, that one in and out. Steen went for the rebound, the ball then goes out of bounds. Go to the Duke. Again, Florida State, a team that just did not start. And we do apologize for the technical difficulties, some issues here at Studio G causing us to scramble a little bit. But we are back with our live coverage of the ACC Men's Basketball Tournament, the third of the 4 quarterfinals. Duke, the top seed, and the top-ranked team in the country with an 11-7 lead over the number 8 seed, Florida State. 15:29 to go in the first. I guess I never stopped the clock. The clock needs to stop, obviously. We are at 15:29. There you go. And let's put 2 up for each team. That should make the score what it is. 11-7 in favor of the Duke Blue Devils. And we might be having a technical. So Isaiah Evans, already 7 points tonight. He scored or assisted on all 5 of the Duke field goals. Here is Sarr with it for Duke. Working with it now on the left side. Jump shot, McCray. That one's good. Nice shot right there. Robert McCray, the fifth. He has 6 points himself. And the Duke lead remains at 2 as we near the 15-minute mark of this first half. This is Cam Boozer, the top scorer. Trying to give it up. Duke working with it now. Gets it back to Caden Boozer. His left corner three. is no good. Rebound, Florida State, McCray. Noles with some numbers here. Here is Lajay Jones trying to spin inside. Jones off the glass. A good basket, and Florida State has responded nicely. And we are now even at 11. Jones with a 15-point and 6-rebound performance last night. So on a foul away from the ball. Luke Laps, of course, played at Florida State under Leonard Hamilton. Was named as Leonard's successor when it was announced that Leonard would be in that game last night against California, in which the Noles won. Gungba out, of course. You know the story. Gungba's out, so too is Foster. Caden Boozer pulls for 3. Not there. Florida State then coughs it up themselves. So 14-18 to play first half. In an 11-11 game. So back to the drawing board we go. Not drawing board, you know what I mean. Here's Florida State now with it. Noles looking on the inside. Oh, good move. Nice. No, but a foul. And free throws coming in for Thomas Bassong, a 55% free throw shooter. He steps up to the, he'll go to the line, a freshman from Paris, France. Bassong averages 6 points and 4 rebounds a game for this FSU team. He was the first high school commitment of the Luke Laux era at Florida State. Played for France last summer at the FIBA Under-19 World Cup. And he makes the first free throw to give Florida State the lead. His mother, by the way, is a high school math teacher. Second free throw for Bassong is up, and it is no good. It rimmed out. Rebound Duke. Gathered in by Nicholas Kaminia. Gives it over to Boozer. Boozer turned it over. And then a foul on Duke. So Florida State with the lead here. That's 2 fouls on Caden Boozer. And as we mentioned earlier, before the internet connection went out, before our technical glitch, remember, this is a Duke team working on a short rotation as is. So they can't really be can't afford to be getting guys into foul trouble. Bassong picked off, stolen by Kaminia. Now it's Cam Boozer. Ball slipped out of his hands, and it goes into the hands of the Seminoles. On the push, here's McCray. Long cross-court pass. 3. Good. Wiggins knocks it down, and it's a 4-point Florida State lead. 10-0 run for the Noles. Boozer now over to Kaminia. Evans a left corner 3. That one's too strong. Tap back out to Kaminia. Kaminia now inside. Had a man calling for it, but he scores and won. He's only a 64% free throw shooter. Kaminia only averages about 5 points a game. Freshman from Los Angeles. Minion out of the line. His debut was in this building at the Spectrum Center. 18 points, or 18 minutes, I should say, and 4 points in a game against Texas. First free throw is no good. And Haminia, this is the free throw. The Florida State lead is still at 2 points. Noles work it now with Jones. Gives it up. McGee for 3. That one wouldn't fall. Cam Boozer chases the rebound down. Long pass, Evans. Evans into the lane. Evans layup at the underside of the rim, but he got fouled. Isaiah Evans, who averages 15 points a game, Evans, an 87% free throw shooter. He is a good one. Sophomore originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina, but attended high school not too far from Charlotte, at North Mecklenburg High School. Third-team All-ACC selections. When he makes at least 3 threes in a game, Evans, Duke is 16-0 this year and 27-0 during his career. Double figures in 18 of Duke's 19 ACC games this season. He drills the first free throw. Free throw good. Evans, and it's tied at 15. So Florida State now back up the floor. Inside, and it's no good. Here's Dame Sarr, kick out. Haminia mistimes the pass. Here's Florida State on the run with Jones. Jones accelerates to the basket and lays it in. Brown now will give it up to Darren Harris for 3. That one a little bit too strong. Rebound, FSU. Seminoles playing well here. Again, up a deuce. Here is Martin Somerville, now over to Chauncey Wiggins. Steen now back over to Wiggins on the left block. Wiggins being guarded by Haminia. Haminia with 10. Wiggins flirting with Tickle-toe on the baseline. I believe he stepped out of bounds. So 11:39 to play first half. 17-15 Florida State on top. Well, it's a Duke team that, as you know, is just very much a powerhouse. And when we talk about the powerhouse of Duke, you have to mention the fact that the ACC Tournament is among the top ones. And Duke, we mentioned how they are the defending champs. They've won it more than anybody. 23 times the Blue Devils have won this tournament. North Carolina, who will play later tonight, second with 18. North Carolina State is then in third. They have 11 conference titles. Wake Forest has 4. Georgia Tech also with 4. Virginia and Maryland with 3 each. Florida State has 1. That came back in 2012. They've only been in the ACC, Florida State, since the 1991-92 season. And what we're trying to figure out right now, just to get it fully confirmed, is the history, the ACC tournament history between Duke and FSU. And again, not a ton of it. But there is enough of it. There is one game, of course. I think the last time they actually played, it might be the only time. Again, we're double checking here. Our crack research team on it. 2012, FSU beat Duke in the semifinals en route to winning that championship. But the Noles won. They beat North Carolina in the final of that tournament. These teams also met for the title back in 2009 in the tournament. Duke won that game 79-69. Duke won it by 10 The MVP for Duke of that particular tournament, I don't know. Some guy named John Shire? John Shire was the head coach. I wonder what became of him. Pretty darn good. In all seriousness, I would say pretty good is what he has been able to do in his time as the successor to Mike Krzyzewski. Again, a job that you just talk about a job that is an unenviable job. And he has handled it with smoothness, class, and grace. By the way, the 87 points that Duke allowed in that January 3rd meeting against FSU, that's the most points Duke's allowed in a game this season. Even more than in the losses to Texas Tech and North Carolina. So it kind of gives you an idea of how well Duke has been defensively this year. They had the ball down by 2, though, with 11.5 to play. 11:25 to play first half. Cam Boozer trying to post up. Hymenia. Evans left corner 3. That one's too strong. Some Skies for the rebound. Now back to Evans. Evans will try again. In and out this time. Another Duke rebound. Inside, no good, but a foul. Boy, Duke got about 3 tries at that. These teams also met in 2019 in Charlotte for the ACC Championship. It was also a championship game. Duke winning that one 73-63, a 10-point win for the Dukies with Zion Williamson leading the way. First free throw up and no good. And of course, they were going to play in the quarterfinals in 2021 until Duke withdrew from the tournament due to COVID, as Malik Brown is at the free throw line. Missed that one. Rebound by Duke. Evans will try again, and finally he gets it to go. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Isaiah Evans, his second 3 of the night, and Duke's up 1. Knowles trying to work the paint inside. Good move. And Bassong with the finish, and FSU goes back to the lead. (19-18) lead for Florida State. Menya working with it now. Menya, his 3 on the way. That one's good. Right down the pipe. And Duke in front now by a deuce at 21-19. Now here is Florida State working with it. Bassong. Bounce pass to Kobe McGee. Kobe McGee now back to Wiggins. Wiggins on the left block, 5 to shoot. Wiggins jump shot, no good. Rebound gathered in by Duke. Here is Sarr running the break. Gets it to Cam Boozer, who knifes in for 2 and 1. Chance at a 3-point play for the player of the year of the conference. Freshman from Miami, Cameron Boozer. And of course, those of you who certainly know who his father is, Carlos, who was a national champion at Duke and had a career in the NBA. Amazing what kind of game. He had 9 assists in the win against Florida State. Misses the free throw, though. So FSU gets the rebound. Boozer's only a 78% free throw shooter. Duke 2 of 6 at the line so far in this game. McCray lobbing it inside to Wiggins. Wiggins kicks it back out. Jones a 3. That's good. Leger Jones knocks down a 3. And we've got a 1-point game. So Florida State hanging around. And with the way they shoot the 3 ball, you can expect them to hang around. Here is Kamenia and a foul on FSU. So Kamenia working it here. Duke up a point. Early days in this ACC tournament. Lob to Boozer. Now over to Hymenia. Saar, now Boozer in the left block. Post up in a mismatch. Second man comes to help. Boozer fakes, drives, and is fouled again. 9:11 to play in the first half. A 23-22 lead for Duke. .78% free throw shooter is Boozer. First free throw is up, and it is good. Luke Laux arguing with the official about that foul call. You have two former ACC Tournament champions coaching against each other. We mentioned Shire, the MVP at 09. Laux, of course, was a key cog in the 2012 FSU win. Second one is good from Boozer, and Duke's lead is now at 3. As we near 9 minutes to play in the first half. First of the two evening games, third quarterfinal in general, the ACC Tournament, the 1-8 game, 4-5 game later tonight, North Carolina and Clemson. Already the 2 seed Virginia and the 3 seed Miami advanced with wins earlier this afternoon, beating NC State and Louisville respectively. Jones, 4 to shoot. Jones hoists one and hits. Jones knocks down a triple, and we're even at 25. He's got 10 points. Lajay Jones is feeling it. Hymenia and Florida State, they got their contingent, but just know there's a contingent wearing a lighter shade of blue that's going to be picked, that's going to give them some added support as the night progresses. Saar, a 3. In and out. Rebound, Brown. Pass nearly picked off. Went into the hands of Evans. His 3 rimmed out. Brown skied up for the rebound. He missed, and now a foul. Boy, Florida State getting killed on the glass here in the early portion of this game. (25-25). First free throw is no good. Brown has not scored tonight. He's 0 of 3 at the line. Make it 0 of 4. Jones got the rebound. Jones, his right wing 3. That one a little too strong. Rebound gathered in by Dukes Brown. Now it's Evans crossing the midcourt stripe. Left wing, now he gives it over to Brown. Brown, good pass inside to find Hymenia, and Hymenia's layup puts Duke back in front. 27-25, the Duke lead. McCray now looking at giving it over to Jones. Now back to McCray. McCray with 17 on the timer. McCray left wing, 14 to shoot. Here's Jones, down to 11. Now gives it up to McCray. McCray a 3. That one's good, and Florida State takes the lead. Robert McCray, the 5th, straight away bucket, and a 5th Florida State 3 of the 9th has put the Noles in front. Dame Saar off the Boozer screen. Now it's Cam Boozer to Hymenia. Hymenia for 3. No good. Another rebound, though, on the offensive glass by Saar. Kick out Boozer. Boozer drives. Kicks out Hymenia. Extra pass. Evans 3. Got it. And there's that magical 3-3 mark. Isaiah Evans, we just told you. When he hits 3, it goes out pretty darn well for Duke. And he already has 15 tonight, which is at his season average. A drive inside, and it's picked off by Duke. They got numbers. Saar, Euro step, traveling against Saar. That'll take us to the under 8 timeout. 6:20 to go first half. A fast pace to this one in Charlotte. Duke up 2 on Florida State in the ACC Tournament. We're back in just a moment. Two-point lead for Duke as we pick up the action here, the ACC Tournament. And a block by Brown. Good job by Malik Brown. Sarr, Evans, and he takes a tumble, and there is a foul on the play. Duke's bench is outscoring Florida State 7-0. Well, you talk about the ACC this year. The first-year coaches in the conference are doing great. Ryan Odom, of course, you heard him earlier today. What a great job he's done at Virginia. Jai Lucas has Miami. What a turnaround from 7 wins to 25. Will Wade maybe gets in the tournament. We'll see. He's had a few ups this year, though, and Luke Laux. Again, who knows if there's going to be anything after the ACC tournament. That's the first Duke free throw is good. But the way that he rallied the team to the second half of the season to get them to this point is to be commended. Evans 3 of 3 at the line, already has 16 points. Chance for his 17th. And he missed it. Out of bounds, last touch by Boozer. And it will go to Florida State. So it's Florida State ball. They have it down by 3. McCray on the right wing. McCray on the top of the key. Now flips it over to Jones. Jones with 12 to shoot. Now back over to Steen. Steen knifing in. Steen, tough shot. Good. Alex Steen works inside, and Florida State is back to within a point. Steen averages 7 points and 6 rebounds a game. Here's Hemenia. Now it's Evans. Evans pass picked off by Jones. Jones, whirling dervish, and he missed it, but he got fouled. He kind of got hit. When he hit, he spun around. His back was contorted to the basket. He tried to put it in, but couldn't. Go to the line, Will Jones. Senior from Neptune Beach, Florida. 6'7" senior who previously played at St. Bonaventure. He was the second official commitment to Luke Laux after he hit the portal. 15 points last night in the win against Cal. Also played at Tarleton and Barton Community College. Of course, Father Jackie played at Barton. First free throw, good. Then he went to Oklahoma, and he's still the Sooner record book for blocks during his Big 8 Newcomer of the Year one season at Oklahoma. Second free throw up and good. So Florida State goes back to the lead. Game trends, Florida State as a team, 9 rebounds. Malik Brown has 8 by himself. It's Boozer now giving it over to Evans. Evans, another 3. Another make. Isaiah Evans is feeling it in the first half for Duke. And they go back in front by 2. His 4th 3 of the first half. McCray on the right block for Florida State. Now gets it back to Steen. Somerville for 3. Answer right back, why don't ya? Martin Somerville hits it. And Florida State up by 1. Boozer, bounce pass, Sarr knifes in. No, gets it back out to Harris. Sarr, a fight. If it's a tie-up, it's Duke ball. I think it may have been a foul, though. Sarr, first free throw, no good. Dame Sarr, a 52% free throw shooter. Freshman from Oderzo, Italy. Second free throw good. And it's a 35-35 game with 4.5 to play in the first half. McCray now with it for Florida State. McCray now with the basketball. McCray trying to move. McCray to the basket. No, ball tapped around into the hands of Hemenia. Hemenia now gives it to Boozer. Boozer for 3. No good. Ball tapped around. Rebound Florida State, McGee. Knowles on the run now. Somerville's going to pull off the heel. No good. Rebounded by Hemenia. Even at 35. Inside of 4 to play in the opening half. Third quarterfinal of the day. Here's Caden Boozer. Drew a double team. Back to Harris. Harris now back to Cam Boozer. Left block. Cam Boozer. Knifes in. No good. But a foul called, and he'll go to the line when we come back. 3:43 to play in the first half. 35 all between Florida State and Duke. 35-35, 3:43 first half. Coming up on the halftime report. We'll get you caught up on all the latest happenings in college basketball. A busy day. Another ticket to the Wibbits tournament was handed out. And why the bubble is in more chaos, more moving parts, after what happened in Cleveland today, amongst other places. It's all coming up at halftime. 35-35, 3:43 to go in the first half. Here's Cam Boozer at the free throw line. Takes dribbles. First free throw, no good. Rimmed out. Second free throw up and good. So Duke up one with 3:43 to go. Here is Somerville. Somerville now works with it. 3:32 to play in the opening half. Now over to Jones. Jones with 14 to shoot. Jones for three. Off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound falls into the hands of Cam Boozer. Now Sarr for Duke. Cam Boozer with it now at the top of the key. Boozer trying to move. Boozer kicks it out. Three on the way is no good by Caden Boozer. And the rebound by Florida State Somerville. Knowles up the floor, down by a point. Here's Jones. Jones will move. 3 minutes to go in the first. Jones in the paint. Jones, tough shot, no good. Rebound, Duke. Good job of the Blue Devils. Duke up one. Hemenia Evans, three. Good. Oh, my goodness. Isaiah Evans is in his bag in this first half. And the Duke lead is now at 4. Wiggins for Florida State on the left wing. This is McGee. McGee now over to Steen. Steen back over to Somerville. Right wing now with 8 to shoot. Now feeds Jones. Somerville with 6. Somerville's got to go. Step back 3. Got it. Somerville with a step back 3. And Florida State within 1. Somerville with 6 points. Boozer now dribbles it across midcourt. Boozer going all the way. Had it stripped. Ball loose. Tapped into the hands of Florida State's Jones. And then Jones is fouled in the middle of that mess. Foul was just the 5th on Duke, so no free throws for Florida State. Isaiah Evans with 22 points and is 5 of 9 from 3. The rest of the team, 17 points and 1 of 10. Jones now over to McCray. McCray, 12 to shoot. McCray now gives it up to Jones. Jones driving. Jones working on Boozer, and Jones lays it in. Florida State not one bit daunted by those Duke players. It's 40-39 with a minute and change to play in the first half. Boozer now over to Sarr. 5 ties, 11 lead changes. Largest lead of the game, 6 held by Duke. Hemenia to Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer no good, but a foul. Right at 1 minute to go in the first half. First free throw is good. And that's the 3rd foul on McCray. So Florida State's leading scorer with 3 fouls. Boozer hit the first. Now here comes the second one. Second free throw, good. Duke is up by 1. Final minute of the half. Somerville crosses midcourt and a timeout taken by FSU. 41-40 the Duke lead. And again, another reminder that coming up, halftime, all the scores, all the latest drama as it pertains to the NCAA tournament picture. Which, of course, the selection committee, it'll be a little less than 72 hours from right now. We will find out the 68 teams who will make the NCAA tournament. And boy, oh boy, this year's, it feels like one way or another, it feels like this year's selection process is not going to make anybody happy. There's going to be somebody. Maybe the person you can't please everyone. There's going to be someone that's just it's like that all the time. But I feel like even more so this year, because it's been well documented that this bubble is mediocre as it's been. Then you have the Miami O factor. Somerville with 20 on the shot clock. 30-second difference between game and shot clock. Here is Jones. Jones knifes in, no good, but he got fouled. So Lajay Jones going to the free throw line with Duke up 1. Quarterfinal of the ACC Tournament. And it's Duke up by a point. So here's Jones. First free throw up. And it is good. Even at 41. Now a second one. Second free throw from Jones is also good, and Florida State takes the lead, 42-41. Here's Hemenia to Boozer. Now back over to Hemenia. And Hemenia wants a timeout. So Duke takes the timeout. And Florida State now leads 42-41. Again, it was 91-87. 180 points was the total when these two met in January. And boy, we're flirting with a rather healthy total this time around too. Already at 83 combined points. Duke, of course, down on one course, Cam Boozer, along with Theis DeRitter, Malik Renaud, Abuka Akori, and Caleb Wilson, the first team All-ACC selections. Boozer, a near unanimous pick for Conference Player of the Year. You might have heard Matthew Owens touch on that in one of our early games. So here's Hemenia for Duke. Blue Devils down 1. Clemson and North Carolina later tonight. Here's Boozer. Knifes in. Cam Boozer. No. Got his own miss. No, but he gets fouled. Well, Duke is just having that's been the one advantage Duke does have. 11-1 in offensive rebounds in favor of the Blue Devils. So here is the free throw from Boozer. First one up and good. Cam Boozer, 10 points, 6 of 8 at the free throw line. Second free throw. Good. Duke up a point. McCray. 13 seconds left in the first half. McCray, 6 seconds left. On the right wing, McCray with 4. 3 seconds. McCray with 2. McCray driving on. Boozer and scoring. And that's how the first half ends. Florida State. They have come to play here in Charlotte. My goodness. All Seminoles in this one. Not all Seminoles. Florida State trying to throw the ACC tournament into some disarray, perhaps. We told you this may be more wide open than people think with the Duke injuries and Florida State being well. Well, guess what? Florida State is doing just that. They lead by 1 at intermission. Halftime scores coming up in just a moment. Are we in for the first major upset of conference tournament week? Well, we've got a ways to go, but Florida State is trying to do just that. 44-43 is the halftime lead for the Noles in this one. Seth Eaves back with you here. Let's fire up that Mixler. Oh my God, I knew I was going to do that once. Let's fire up the college basketball scoreboard. How about that? These darn buzzer drop frames would just stop. And leave me alone. Well, now I don't need these anymore. So now I'm going to take these tabs off. Okay, that's great. Maybe that'll help. I doubt it. Let's go rapid. Let's go as fast as we can. All the conference tournaments around the country. Let's start here in the ACC. Earlier today, if you weren't with us, the first 2 games were streamed for you here, and we hope you enjoyed them. If you did listen to them, it was Virginia 81, NC State 74. Cavs win their 28th of the year. NC State now faces a nervy wait at 20-13. Second game of the day. What a game between Louisville and Miami. Canes put the clamps down late. Miami's in the semi 78-73. They were 7-24 last year. Now the U is 25-7. They'll meet the Wahoos tomorrow night here on the channel in the first of the 2 ACC semifinals. Of course, the winner of this game will play the winner of the final game of the night. We'll have that one for you, too, about 30 minutes after this one, as Clemson takes on 19th ranked North Carolina. So that's the ACC tournament. Now, let's go to the other men's conference tournaments, what all is happening. In the Big 12. They're at the half at Kansas City in the quarterfinals. 16 more for A.J. Dabansa. BYU leads Houston 41-37. Winner of that game will play the winner of the final quarterfinal of the night between TCU and number 14 Kansas. Earlier today, second-ranked Arizona had no problem with UCF, 81-59. The Wildcats' 30th win of the year. They'll get Iowa State tomorrow night. The Cyclones ran away and hid in the second half from number 16 Texas Tech. 75-53 was the final there. So Arizona, Iowa State, one semifinal set in the Big 12. Big 10, third round is what they're calling that Big 10 tournament in Chicago. Earlier today, Number 23 Wisconsin raced to a big lead, then held off a furious fight back from Washington. Badgers won it 85-82. John Blackwell, 34 points and 10 rebounds. They will play Illinois tomorrow. In the 8-9 game earlier today, Ohio State held off Iowa 72-69. The Buckeyes get 24 from Bruce Thornton. They'll get a third crack at hated rival Michigan tomorrow in the quarterfinals. The third round night session is underway, 9:08 to go, and 18th ranked Purdue has a comfortable 69-51 lead over Northwestern. The final game of the night will pit Rutgers against UCLA. In Nashville at the SEC Tournament, the two early games today, number 25 Tennessee used a 19-0 run at one point in the second half to key a 72-62 win over Auburn. It was welcome back indeed. Nate Ament, 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks. The Vols get the win, and Auburn now faces a quite interesting 70-69 hours, 17-16. An at-large selection would break precedent on many levels if they get in, but there are numbers that benefit Auburn being in the tournament. We shall see if the Tigers get in to Hyde-Pettiford with 28 points. The other early game of the SEC today, Kentucky outlasted Missouri 78-72. Cats get top seed Florida tomorrow, 21 from Otega Owe. By the way, Tennessee plays Vanderbilt. Ole Miss trying to be the stopper in the bottle in the SEC. They knocked off Texas last night, and they lead by 14 at the half against Georgia. Mississippi's up 34-20. The night game tonight, Oklahoma, a critical game for them as they will take on Texas A&M. Big East Tournament at MSG, quarterfinal day there. St. John's knocked out Providence in the first quarter, 85-72. 21 for Zuby Ejiofor. They'll play an old rival, Seton Hall, who secured a 72-61 victory against Creighton. Disappointing year for the Blue Jays comes to an end. The Johnnies and the Hall tomorrow at MSG. Number 6 UConn on their way to the semis, it would appear, all over Xavier, 50-30 at the half. The late game tonight is Georgetown against Villanova. There's no doubt, though, what the story of the day in college basketball was. I did not click Georgetown Villanova, you stupid mouse. There's no doubt what the story of the day in college basketball was today. It was a game that started at 11 a.m., a little brunch upset, if you will. The final unbeaten fell. Number 20, Miami of Ohio, was 31-0. They leave Cleveland 31-1. They pick up a quad 4 loss. They lose to 8th-seeded Massachusetts. Not a bad way to start your MAC tournament run if you're UMass. Frank Martin's Minutemen knock out the Red Hawks 87-83. Miami now plays a bit of a waiting game. Many think they're still in, but if there are bid thieves, they might be sweating it out a little bit. UMass will play Toledo in one MAC semi tomorrow. The Rockets held off arch rival Bowling Green 77-76. Akron, the number 2 seed, now becomes your favorite to win the thing. They won their 27th game of the year to go to 17-1 in the conference. I think they went 17-1 in the conference. They beat Buffalo 73-70. Akron will play the winner of the 4th quarterfinal, which is happening right now. 14:05 to go. It's Kent State leading Ohio 57-45. Atlantic 10 tournament, 8-10 tournament action. In the A-10 earlier today, GW knocked off Fordham 66-62. Christian Jones scored 20 for the Revolutionaries. DeSante Bowen has 20. St. Bonaventure defeats George Mason 63-57. Mark Schmidt's career goes on one more day. George Mason, who had a promising season going at one point, ends with disappointment. And Duquesne downed Rhode Island 67-61. Alex Williams with 22. The final game of the night is underway. 8:35 to play in the first. Loyola Chicago leading Davidson 15-13. So the quarterfinals there tomorrow. GW against St. Louis, St. Bonaventure Dayton, Duquesne VCU, and St. Joe's will take on the winner of the Loyola Davidson game. Mountain West Tournament. Quarterfinals, top seed Utah State, no trouble. They beat UNLV 80-60. Good one going on in the second quarterfinal. A minute 45 to go. Nevada leads Grand Canyon 74-73. The two late quarterfinals, Colorado State v. San Diego State and San Jose State against New Mexico. In the American, 2 games tonight. First game is going on early in the second half. Tulane leads Charlotte 27-24. Florida Atlantic and North Texas will contest the second game tonight in the American. Conference USA, a tournament that's been flipped a little bit after Liberty's loss last night. Louisiana Tech leads Middle Tennessee 56-50 with 8:24 to go. Kennesaw State, Western Kentucky will play tonight. In the other game in Huntsville. That's CUSA. How about the WAC? 2 WAC games tonight. Southern Utah will play UT Arlington and Abilene Christian against Utah Tech. Big West, 2 games tonight. UC San Diego versus Cal State Northridge at 9. Then at about 11:30, UC Davis against Cal State Fullerton. The Big West final will be here on the channel Saturday night, late night. So just keep that in mind. MEAC tournament action, 3:09 to play. Or now 2:47 to play. It's South Carolina State leading Norfolk State 77-67. Maryland Eastern Shore, North Carolina Central play the late game tonight in the MEAC. And finally, the SWAC men's tournament. One final at the SWAC men's tournament today. Alabama A&M outlasted Texas Southern in overtime 85-74. The second game tonight, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Southern. So one semifinal in the SWAC is set. It's Prairie View against Alabama A&M. The winner of the Pine Bluff Southern game plays Florida A&M in the championship game in the semifinals tomorrow. Another women's basketball now. Another trip to the women's tournament was punched today. The Lady Jacks of Stephen F. Austin claimed the Southland title. 21 points from Micah Perry. Win 25 takes SFA to the dance. They beat McNeese 71-59 in the Southland Conference. In the American Women's Tournament today, it was North Texas 76, Tulsa 73, and it was UTSA 62, South Florida 51. That means the Mean Green will now play Rice in the semifinal tomorrow, while the other semi pits UTSA against East Carolina. No women's action today in the MAC. The MAC women's semis, though, are going to be tomorrow. And those will be Ohio against Miami of Ohio. And then Toledo taking on Ball State. At the Conference USA women's tournament in Huntsville, the two more games in the books. Liberty took care of Sam Houston 89-57. Missouri State beat Middle Tennessee 69-66. The semis in that one, Liberty La Tech and Missouri State against FIU tomorrow. Missouri Valley Women's Tournament beginning at the Extreme Arena in Coralville, Iowa. One game in the books. Indiana State beat Southern Illinois 81-69. Evansville and UIC are tied at 32 at the half. Valparaiso and Drake play the late game tonight, while Evansville so that's Missouri Valley Women's Tournament. Sorry, just getting a little flustered there. My bad. Patriot League Women's Tournament semifinals. Holy Cross into the final. They beat Army 61-55. The second semifinal, Lehigh and Navy, they're tied at 44 in the third quarter. So Holy Cross trying to punch the ticket in that one. Let me finish off with the Missouri Valley Women's Tournament, what the rest of the tournament looks like. I clicked MVC, not NEC, you stupid robotic mouse. So 2 quarterfinals set for tomorrow on the Missouri Valley women's side. It'll be Indiana State, Murray State, and then Bradley taking on Northern Iowa. How about at the WAC Women's Tournament? WAC Women's Tournament. Tarleton State was a 60-57 win over Utah Valley earlier today, and UT Arlington just knocked out Southern Utah 70-65. So tomorrow the semis, Tarleton State against Cal Bap. You have two games in that tournament semifinals in which a team with a losing record plays a team with 20 wins. Tarleton against Cal Baptist, and UT Arlington against Abilene Christian. So that's the WAC women's tournament for you there. CAA women's tournament tomorrow. Quarterfinal or today. One game, the play-in second round games. 3 of them are in the books. William and Mary beat North Carolina A&T 61-58. Monmouth 72. UNC Wilmington 61. Hofstra beat Towson 72-71. Hampton and Elon still play later tonight. Winner of that one plays Drexel. The 3 confirmed quarters tomorrow are William and Mary Charleston, Monmouth Stony Brook, and Hofstra against Campbell. Of course, the America East Women's Championship is tomorrow. That's Maine taking on Vermont. How about the SWAC Women's Tournament? The SWAC Women's Tournament today in College Park, Georgia. Southern beat Jackson State 64-51. Alabama State 56, Grambling 50. The semifinals then tomorrow. Southern Alabama A&M and Alabama State against Arkansas Pine Bluff. And finally, at the MEAC Women's Tournament, MEAC Women's Tournament, Coppin State 70, North Carolina Central 52. Norfolk State beat Morgan State 69-43. Coppin State Howard, Norfolk State, Maryland Eastern Shore, the semifinals in the MEAC tomorrow. And real quick, other women's college basketball games today in the Northeast Conference semifinals. LIU leads Mercyhurst 53-42 with 4:55 in the third. And with 43 seconds left in the third, FDU leads Lemoyne 53-35. Big West quarterfinals today. Hawaii was a 72-61 winner in overtime over Cal State Fullerton, and UC Davis outlasted UC Riverside 70-59. That stupid mouse, I swear to God, is on its own again. Isaiah Evans, 22 points. Rest of the team, 21. As FSU leads Duke 44-43. The Noles are 20 minutes away from a massive upset. They force a turnover to start. Wiggins a 3. That's good. FSU picks up right where it left off. Chauncey Wiggins the triple. And it's a 47-43 Florida State lead. Here's Boozer, 11 points. Evans, 22. Led the way calling for it. Brown with a tip in. 2-point lead for FSU. Here is McCray. Driving in the paint. McCray. Oh, bad pass. Out of bounds. It will belong to Duke. Here is Duke with Caden Boozer. Boozer's 3 is good. It took a couple of shots and then rimmed out. Here is Lajay Jones. Now over to McCray. McCray with the basketball. McCray, a long pass. Gives it up to Basson. Jones, left side jumper. A little too strong. Chased down, though, by Steen, and then Steen gave it back up to Brown. Duke on the run. Boozer. Caden Boozer on the run. He misses a layup, but Caden Boozer's fouled, and he'll go to the line. Caden is a 78% free throw shooter on the year. Florida State had 42 points on 50 of 27 shooting in the first half of January. They had 44 points. Was it 16 of 31 shooting in the opening, in the second, in this game. First free throw for Caden Boozer is up, and it is good. Second free throw is good, 47-47. McCray with it for Florida State. On the right wing, McCray now trying to work, extended now over to 18 on the timer. Here's McCray on the move. McCray lays it in. Good move by McCray. And Florida State now leads by a deuce. 49-47. McCray has 13. Here's Cam Boozer. Lob to Caden Boozer. Pass deflected. So 17:58 left in the second. Florida State looking for what would be a stunner. They were a hefty underdog. Still the inbound FSU. Another three. That one is off the heel. No good, but an over the back foul on Duke. In our college basketball coverage continuing here on the channel on the Ultimate Sports Media stream all week long. Clemson, North Carolina tonight. Tomorrow, both of the ACC semis. 2 on the Florida State with 20 on the shot clock. So here come the Seminoles working with it. So they did that inbound too quickly. I was finishing my read, dang it. Just messing. Cray missed the layup, but a foul called against Duke. But yes, Clemson, North Carolina tonight. Tomorrow night, both semifinals. Then Saturday, the ACC Championship and the Big West Championship game. And then on Sunday, the Big Ten Championship game, in addition to the two races, IndyCar at the new Arlington Street Circuit and NASCAR, the Cup Series. Continuing their Western swing this weekend at Las Vegas. First free throw by McCray is no good. Now remember, McCray is playing this game with 3 fouls. Oh, I just want to know about Arizona. That was their 16th 20-point win of the season. Most in D1. It's amazing considering that Michigan's won so many games. McCray makes the second 71% free throw shooter. Duke left to right and white. Florida State opposite direction. And so now FSU up by 3. Here is Boozer for Duke. He'll give it to Harris. Or this is Brown, I'm sorry. Brown. Now flips it back to Evans. Evans, a lob. There's Cam Boozer all alone. Easy lay-in. Easy for Cam Boozer to pull the Blue Devils to within a point. McCray drives. Teardrop. No, it came back to McCray. Blocked again. Evans. No, foul. Evans thought he got all ball, but that's not what the referees say. McCray at the foul line, 14 points. First free throw up and good. Rimmed in. Bounced down at the front of the rim and bounced again before falling. Second free throw is good, and Florida State's lead is now at 3. Here's Duke with Sarr. Now over to Boozer. Boozer kicks it back out. Hamenia. Cam Boozer for 3. Short off the front of the rim. Loose. Brown. Fumble. Florida State with it now on the run. Here is Somerville. McCray. 22 on the timer. McCray now knifing in. McCray turned it over. Oh, no, a foul call. And And is that on Evans again? Florida State, people are getting a little fired up. So the inbound for Florida State. Steen, now to McCray. McCray with 13 on the timer. Now over to McGee. McGee, 9 to shoot. McGee now over to Steen. Finds the cutting McCray. McCray lays it in. Good work by Robert McCray the fifth. And Florida State is now up by 5. A 20-16 edge in the paint for FSU. Jimena. Now feeds it to Brown. Jimena on the left wing. Dribbles, now moves. Into the left block. Kicks it back out to Cam Boozer in the left corner. Now he directs traffic. Ball poked away. And it's out of bounds. That'll take us to a break. 15:57 to play in the game. Florida State leads Duke 54-49. You see the score. Can they hang on? (54-49), Florida State trying to stun Duke in this ACC quarterfinal. 5-point lead for FSU. Here is Somerville now over to McGee. Double team. Now back over to McGee. McGee now over to Somerville. McCray, 5 to shoot. McCray, step back 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound, Steen. McCray on the right wing, and McCray is fouled. I'm about getting to Matthew Owens territory in that Louisville-Miami game. Not everything has to be a foul here, guys. I mean, come on now. Let's go. 3 fouls on Malik Brown now. 5-point lead for the Noles. And a turnover. Duke gets it back just like that. Evans now over to Cam Boozer. Now it's Evans. Evans and foul on FSU. I didn't realize I didn't start the clock. So now here's Duke. Evans now back to Jimena. Jimena on a drive. Floats in. No. Rebound FSU McCray. And then another whistle here. And it's going to stay with Florida State. Oh, they're going to call Golt in. They're going to call Golt in on Steen. So put 2 points on the board for Duke. No, not a goaltend. It was in the cylinder. First of all, Caden Boozer touches it first, it looks like. I don't know. Either way you slice it, it's a 3-point FSU game. McCray now over to McGee. McCray, right wing. Now a lob over to Wiggins. Wiggins now on the right block. 15 to shoot. Wiggins in the paint. Looks for help with 11. Wiggins fadeaway. Good. Chauncey Wiggins knocks down the jump shot. And the Florida State lead is at 5. Wiggins has 11. Here's Caden Boozer for Duke. Right wing, Boozer. Boozer flips it back now over to Harris. Now it's Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer now over to Jimena. Jimena for 3. Short off front rim. Out of bounds. Last touch to FSU. Duke will have it on the right side, but they're only going to have 2 seconds on the shot clock to work with. So here is Duke. Actually, it's not 2 on the shot. 15 on the shot clock. But it's they get it in. Boozer, no. Fight for it there, and it's a jump ball. The arrow favors Florida State. Carlos Boozer in the stands. Proud Papa and proud Duke alum. See, that has to be great when they go to your alma mater, because now you don't have to worry about buying any more team clothes or supporting anybody else. You can stay a Duke Blue Devil for life, because the kids do the same. And be a father. Wiggins a 3. No good. Duke with the rebound. Here is Jimena. Now Caden Boozer. Left wing now over to his brother Cam. He'll pull for 3 straight away. It rims out. Rebound Harris. No good. Tapped around. Jimena. Now it's Cam Boozer. Harris is calling for it to the corner. Caden Boozer has it. 6 to shoot. Evans for 3. Too strong. Rebound, Florida State. Somerville. McCray! Got it! A 9-2 Florida State run. The lead is at 8. Timeout, John Shire. Can you feel the energy? Can you feel that little twinkle in the air? That's March, people. And the madness may be arriving in Charlotte. The first 7 minutes of the second half, FSU has outscored Duke 15-8. And that's a big, and you see what that leads to the total score on your screen. 59-51, the number 8 seed, trying to send the top seed and the top-ranked team in the country home and one and done from this tournament. Here's Cam Boozer inside, double team, no, gets it back, puts it in. And Duke's batting within 6 just like that. This is McCray on the right lane. Now over to McGee. McGee with a little whip around. Nice little 1-2. Now it's McGee again. 15 to shoot. McGee down to 12. Now McCray with it, top of the key. McCray. Left wing, 5 to shoot. Good extra passing. Somerville, 1 to shoot. Left corner 3 is in and out by McGee. Used every inch of the shot clock. They didn't get the bucket. Still a ways to go, though. Duke trying to remind everybody that, hey, look, we're still Duke. We still have a way to go. Evans can't connect on a 3. Brown got the offensive rebound. Cam Boozer drills a 3. Straightaway 3. You wouldn't think he's great there, but he shoots at a 41% clip from 3. And the big man pulls Duke to within 3. Looks like Shire got him going out of the timeout. Now Florida State needs to stay course and find a way because you know Duke's coming with a punch. What is FSU's response? McCray turns it over into the hands of Haminia. Evans on the left wing. Evans now, top of the key. Evans drives, lays it in. Isaiah Evans with 2 more. It's a 7-0 Duke run. And Luke Laux is going to take a timeout. Duke, in the blink of an eye, has come back alive. Back in a moment. "59-58, Florida State. Their lead down to 1, and still 11 minutes and 10 seconds to play in this game, in regulation at least. Don't forget, after we're done, Clemson, North Carolina, second game of the night session, the fourth and final game of quarterfinal Thursday at the ACC. McCray, Bassong now to Somerville, 12 to shoot. Somerville now with 9. Somerville, good pass inside. Oh, Bassong, good interior passing at Florida State with the lead back at 3. Evans, Amenia for 3, in and out. Boozer over the back. Oh, no, he got fouled. And call foul on Florida State. Duke now working with it. Here is Sarr on a drive. Good finish. Dame Sarr doing the damage. 1 point FSU lead. Now a steal by Malik Brown. Euro step. Brown puts it in, and Duke recaptures the lead. As we near the halfway point of this second half, McCray for Florida State now on the left wing, nearing the 10-minute mark. 9-16 lead changes. FSU's led by as many as 8. Foul here on Duke. McCray was driving to the basket. And the two injured Duke players getting excited. If you're a Duke fan watching and be like, okay, please, don't get that excited. Don't be hopping like that. It makes me scared. I can only imagine what Duke fans were feeling like watching that. They've made 4 of their last 5 here at the Blue Devils. And Duke forces the turnover off the inbounds pass. Up ahead of the pack, it's Evans. And Isaiah Evans with the lay-in. And Duke, a 13-2 run. That Shire timeout a few moments ago has really lit a fire under him. McCray looking for an answer. No good. Rebounded by Boozer. Hemenia with it now. Hemenia now gives it to Boozer. Boozer now finds Evans on the right wing. Evans now at the top of the key. Lob. Boozer couldn't handle it. It goes out of bounds. Tried to get it but couldn't. And it goes back to Florida State. 9 minutes and 12 seconds to play in this ACC quarterfinal. Can the top seed hang on, or will the Noles? Pull the shocker. Somerville. Nice little 1-2 flick there. It's Somerville. Good pass. Steen inside. No good, but Steen is fouled, and he'll go to the line. Alex Steen, a 71% free throw shooter. He's the unicorn on this Florida State team in the sense that amongst players who play normally, amongst players who average at least 10 minutes a game for Florida State this year, he is the only one that has taken that 3-point attempts are in the single digits. Matter of fact, he's only taken 1 3 all year. The foul was on Brown, his 4th. Steen misses the first. Here is the free throw. It is up. That one is also no good. Rebounded by Dame Sarr. Now it's Caden Boozer running the floor to do. He finds his brother Cam. Cam Boozer on a run. Kicks it back out. Evans for 3. It's good. Isaiah Evans hit a bunch of those in the first half. Found some issues in the second, but he hits there. It's now a 16-2 run for Duke University. And then the foul on Duke, which leaves John Shire absolutely perplexed and disconsolate over there on that Duke sideline. 8:32 left. Pierre Moss in the comments. Upset brewing here? Maybe, but Duke has done what Duke does, and that is wake up. Again, Clemson, North Carolina coming up in mere moments. Martin Somerville, 82% free throw shooter on the year, has not been to the line tonight. A 1-1, and he missed the front end. Got to make your fouls if you're Florida State. They shoot 71% as a team. Brown with 4 fouls, Boozer with 3. The Duke foul situation is Cam Boozer Pass deflected. It goes out of bounds. It will stay with Duke. Still 16 on the shot clock. 8 minutes and 18 seconds remaining. Third quarterfinal tonight. High seeds won early. Can Duke keep the high seed trend going? And Clemson, North Carolina just comes across as a really interesting game in the evening session. Boozer's inbound. Cam Boozer, that is, to Caden Boozer. Now here is Hemenia. Hemenia now finds Cam Boozer. 6 to shoot. Cam Boozer works with 5, gives it to Caden Boozer. 2 to shoot. Caden Boozer scores and 1. And Duke is turning on the style and reminding everybody why they are indeed Duke and the #1 team in these United States. Under 8 timeout. Duke up 8. Back in a moment. (69-61) Duke, 7:59 to go. Update: Purdue did hang on to beat Northwestern by 13 in the Big Ten tournament. Boilers and Nebraska tomorrow night. And Houston leads BYU by 2 with 7:21 to go in the Big 12. Winner of that one will play either TCU or Kansas. Semifinals tomorrow. Arizona, Iowa State. That won't be exciting or anything. That'll be your first semifinal tomorrow. First semifinal of the ACC is already set. Virginia, Miami. Winner of this game will play the winner of Clemson, North Carolina. Duke, since the 12:45 mark, has been on an 18-2 run. They've out-rebounded FSU 15-7. And the and one free throw good by Caden Boozer. And Duke is now up 9, and Florida State now is entering a little bit of danger zone. Steen now at toss to Jones. Jones now over to Bassong. Now it's McCray. 10 to shoot. McCray. Steen back to McCray with 5. 3 to shoot. McCray with 2. McCray better go. 1. Did he get the shot off? Yes, he did, but he missed it, Bassong, and Duke gets the rebound. Here is Cam Boozer now for Duke. Off a screen, he meanders to the left side. Boozer trying to work with it. Boozer, a lob to Caden Boozer. Now Caden gets to Hemenia. 7 to shoot. Hemenia in the paint. Hemenia knifing and missing. Rebound FSU Steen. Now it's McCray. Cray. Oh, dangerous pass. Ball still loose on that. Good save. Jones. McCray for 3. No, the threes aren't falling for Florida State like they were earlier. Caden Boozer. McCray with a chase down block from behind. Then he lost the ball. And Evans has it back. Cam Boozer bounce pass. Caden Boozer for 3 is good, but there was a foul before that on Florida State. That's a good chase down block with 2 hands by McCray, but you got to secure the ball. And Florida State did not do that. Just the 15th foul on FSU. Caden Boozer to inbound. Bounce pass deflected out. Try it again. And inbounds pass. Maybe deflated, thrown away. It's going to stay with Florida State. Well, hold on now. It is going to stay Florida State ball. It will be Florida State ball. They originally called it FSU ball. They had a brief consultation, and then they decided, you know what? That was the right call. So no Duke. So Duke does not keep the ball here. 6:29 to go. Again, we remind you, the way Florida State shoots this 3 ball, they're never really out of a game. Somerville on the right wing. Now over to McCray. Finds left wing. McCray, little spin. McCray drives. McCray gets it in off the front of the rim. A nice little bounce by McCray. Florida State needed that bucket. They pulled her within 7. As we near the 6-minute mark of this one, here's Cam Boozer running the show. Cam Boozer all the way. He lays it in. Under 6 minutes to go, a 9-point game. 20 points, 9 rebounds for Boozer. McCray. Somerville on the right wing. Now gets it to McCray. And then a foul here on Duke. Nine-point lead for Duke. 5:39 left. One and one for Martin Somerville. And he missed the front end. Tapped around and a foul on Florida State. If the Noles may be running out of gas here. 5:37 left. Duke up 9. A step closer to Duke and North Carolina at the ACC Tournament again. North Carolina still has to hold up their end of the bargain. A song is fouled out. 5:37 left. And Boozer with the inbound. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not that much time left. My fingers allow that to happen sometimes. Duke with the ball, down 9, up 9, and they turn it over. Now Jones. Jones drives. No good. But he'll go to the line, and that actually will be a two-shot foul this time because it was in the act of shooting. You have 5:18 left in a 9-point Duke lead. ACC semifinal berth to the winner of this one. Duke, regardless of what they do, is locked into a number 1 seed. Here is LeJay Jones, who's now 5 of 5 at the line tonight. 75% free throw shooter, now 5 of 5 on the night. Now the second free throw. This could cut it to 7. He's got it. 5:18 to go, 7-point game. Duke now up the floor with Caden Boozer. Hamenya with 17. Now over to Cam Boozer. Evans for 3. No. Rebound, Florida State. McRae. Jones. On Boozer, he scores. On the attack. Good move by Jones. 5-point game. FSU, the little half-court press. Duke broke it. Brown. Now back over to Cam Boozer, or Caden Boozer. Hamenya now with 15 on the timer. As we are now at the 4.5-minute mark of this one. Hamenya to Evans, left wing. Back to Hamenya. Here's Cam Boozer on the right wing. Cam Boozer for 3. He connects. Big time 3 for Cam. Duke's lead now at 8. 23 for the player of the year. Jones looking for the response. You betcha. LeJay Jones lashes one in from 3 and cuts it back to 5. And a stoppage with 3:59 to play. And we're into the stretch in Charlotte. Can the top seed Blue Devils hang on? Or can the 8-seeded Seminoles pull off this upset? We're back with more ACC tournament action right after this. 3:59 to play. Duke 75, Florida State 70. Again, what is ahead? The winner goes to the semifinals of the ACC. Duke, they're heading for the NCAA tournament as a #1 seed regardless. Florida State likely will have its season end at 18-15 unless they were to accept an invitation to the NIT. Realistically, for Florida State, it feels like they're going to try and go for the auto bid, which is the only way they can make the NCAA tournament. Luke Laux' Noles within 5, trying to pull off what would be some kind of massive upset. Cam Boozer for Duke. Waiting for the inbounds pass. And now we're having some more technical difficulties. So back we are. Florida State hit a 3 to get to within 3, but Isaiah Evans just hit one right back. Duke with a 6-point lead. Evans now a career-high 32. Jones for 3. You betcha. Jones another 3, and Florida State, with their shooting, stays right in the game. 2:17 left. Full court press coming. Cam Boozer, now to Caden Boozer. Now it's Cam with it. 19 on the timer. Trying to slow it down. John Schneider says just slow it down. 13 on the timer. Evans another 3. All in and out. Rebound gathered in by Somerville. Less than 2 minutes to go. Florida State down by 3. Everyone in the building, barred people in Duke blue, rooting the Noles on, you would imagine. Jones with 16 on the timer. Jones spins. Had it stripped out of bounds. It's going to stay with Florida State. 1:39 on the game clock and 13 on the shot clock. Jones, catch it, shoot, blocked. McCray got it back though. Jones, 8 on the timer for Florida State. Jones, and a foul on Duke. Jones, 75% free throw shooter. 6 of 6 at the line tonight. The graphic just posted it, and I just said it. For those of you that believe in the jinx, at least on that one, remember it. He made that one. Now another one. This, with 88 seconds left, could cut it to 1. Jones at the foul line to cut it to 1. It's good. It's a 1-point game with 1:28. Each team 2 timeouts. Florida State crowd on their feet. You know the North Carolina crowd is on their feet, rooting against their most hated enemy. Here's Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer down to minute 15 left. Over to the right wing. Now Evans. Evans, big three if it goes. It didn't. Great offensive rebound, though, by Caden Boozer. There to clean up the mess and lay it in. Duke up 3. We're into the final minute. Cray up the floor of the right wing. McCray now gives it to Jones. Jones back to McCray. 15 to shoot. Wiggins. Boozer on him. 11 to shoot. Wiggins with 8. Wiggins over Boozer gets the 2-pointer to go. 37 seconds to go. No timeout. Duke has it. FSU trying to press. 8-second difference between game and shot clock. They break the press to Dame Sarr. Now it's Evans. 8 seconds. Is that enough to play it out? Luke, 8-second differential. Is that a big enough difference for Luke Laux to play it out? He thinks so. Timer at 9. Well, you got to think Evans is going to pull this with 5. He's been so good tonight. Here's Evans. Gives it to Cam Boozer instead. Boozer shot blocked. Rebound, Florida State. 6 seconds left. Up the floor. 4 seconds. McCray with 2. McCray for the win. No. And Duke hangs on. Oh, my goodness. Nobody is immune to a heart attack game in the month of March. And the top seed and the top team in the country holds off a spirited and valiant effort by a Florida State team who found themselves in the back half of this season. And if they can add pieces and keep some, they're a team that's going to be a trendy pick, you feel, to be in the top half of the conference, top 6 or 7 next season. McCray with a good look. It just didn't go. And Florida State's players hit the deck. Duke with an almighty scare. But they win it. 80-79. We're going to take a little breather, a little break. We'll be back in about 30 minutes or so for Clemson and North Carolina. For everyone here on the stream, I'm Seth Eaves. So long. And you've been watching a college basketball watch-along. Clemson and UNC in about 30 minutes. Duke survives in this one.